You got to pay for paint today, finish the job in a month, and then get paid 180 days later, all because the ATO decided to tell the paint shop that you didn't pay your BAS on time.
100%, which is all within their power that people don't have any idea on until it happens to them and they get this embarrassing phone call, and it's horrific.
The director penalty notice is the most feared letters of all accounting letters. Let me tell you something. If my client gets a director penalty notice, I don't sleep that night unless I have sat down with them and a liquidator in a room and started to map out plans. You don't understand. If you get a director penalty notice, urgency is critical. We have to move and act right now, because the second you get a director penalty notice, we've got 21 days to make a decision about if we're winding up the company, paying the debt, or entering into an arrangement. If you don't act within 21 days, you are personally liable for that debt. That letter is the scariest letter that gets issued in Australia. The director penalty notice is you don't want to mess around if you get a DPN. And if you got an accountant, I'll tell you right now, if you got an accountant that just sends you a DPN and says good luck, you don't have an accountant. If your accountant doesn't call you when you get a DPN and say, I've spoke to this liquidator, I've spoke about small business restructure, these are payment arrangement terms, this is what your cash flow looks like, I've looked at your debtors, let's sit down, can you meet today? We've got 21 days, the letter was dated 2 days ago, guess what, we're down to 19 days. If there's no urgency and they're not doing it themselves, you don't have an accountant. 100%. And good luck to you. You know why? Because you probably shopped around for a cheap accountant. You know, you probably went to whoever they just lodged my tax return. Well, guess what? If you pay for someone to just lodge your tax return, they're not going to care. The ATO system in 2025 for tax compliance, paying on time, is so aggressive. It's unprecedented. I had a client who had their home mortgage offset garnished for an unpaid BAS. The ATO will go into your home loan and take your money. And remember how everyone used to say, keep all your money in your offset because it's safe? Guess what? Your money's not safe in your offset if you got a tax debt, because the ATO can go into your offset and garnish your offset. Guess what they can't garnish? If you paid off the loan.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So remember all the risks you had for having money in the offset? Well, one of them is the bank goes bust. Risk number 2, ATO comes after the money in your offset for unpaid tax.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So we have to as accountants educate the client as to the severity of the risk of bad tax compliance, because if it starts with warning letters and then it flows on to penalties, interest, wind-up notices, DPN, okay, and we're not actually helping mitigate these circumstances as they happen, inevitably the business will fail. And when the business fails, it's no mucking around. The ATO will appoint a liquidator, and guess what the liquidator is going to want to do? If you don't know that liquidator, all right, and you haven't made any efforts to communicate or come up with money or sort out the problems, they're going to come up to your house and take your house.
Yeah.
They will take your house. Do you understand how your kids go to sleep at night in their beds and there's a roof over their heads? You stuffed up your business. You didn't pay your BAS. You ignored your DPN. Liquidator appointed, pursuing you for insolvent trading, voidable transactions. They'll come take your house. I'm not in the business of letting the ATO take my clients' houses. If you're my client, I am setting you up from day one, because my biggest fear is that the ATO is going to take your house. I set up my clients on day one in a way where the ATO is not going to take your house. And if we're not setting them up to stop the ATO taking their houses, what are we doing?
Completely agree. And I think people just don't realize the severity of things until obviously it plays out, or someone they know it happens to, or whatever. But take the lesson from this. Like, it's not hard to comply and to follow the rules and to tick the boxes that you're supposed to tick to make sure that these things can't happen to you. It's not hard, but it's also hard, because you have to find an accountant that is on there with the journey with you, that is as concerned about your lodgements as you are, that is as concerned about your business as you are, that is as concerned about your numbers in your business as you are. Or ultimately, clients don't know what they don't know. Oh yeah, I've received a letter from the ATO. Oh, they're threatening this, but what's the worst I can do? I've got a company anyway, so I'm protected. No. Did you know if you don't lodge on time, you definitely may not be protected? Like, there are so many things that our careers as, 10, 20-year-old accountants sort of have seen play out that you just wish every client knew.
You wish they knew, and when you come to help them, so often it's too late. And then they become a warning for the next person or for the next time around in business.